Greetings, my fellow intellectuals and bookworms. It's time for another video. Today, we'll be discussing the Nevada primary, which I'm sure you all know about. I already discussed New Hampshire and Iowa and made predictions that worked, even who would drop out next. So, Nevada, one of the biggest ones right before California's in March 3rd, and before South Carolina's in a week and a half. Basically, there's a whole bunch of tiny counties with 2,000 people. They don't really matter to the delegate count, but occasionally they group together enough votes in a close election to actually swing the result. Basically, all we need to care about is Washoe County in the north. It is home to Reno and 400,000 people. Historically speaking, the candidate who's won Washoe County has gone on to win the primary and the general election. And in the south, we've got Clark County with Las Vegas and about 2 million people. Now, the candidates left are Tom Steyer, billionaire guy who I sincerely believe just wanted to meet Bernie Sanders and then decided to be a serious political candidate, whose ideas are basically knockoff Mike Bloomberg, only he manages to speak even less inspiring than Bloomberg, which is a feat. Amy Klobuchar, former Minnesota senator who most people have never fucking heard of. The only reason I know is because I've memorized the names of different senators that are swing votes and occasionally vote with the opposition a decent part of the time. Roughly 4% support nationwide, double of Steyer's. The only reason she's still in this is because she did reasonably well in New Hampshire and Iowa, mainly because Iowa is right next to Minnesota, so, of course. Joe Biden, at this point, he's more or less done. He's lost two seats already in a landslide. Nevada is 8 points against him. California is now 8 points. In South Carolina, he's now 25% to Sanders' 20. If you subtract the margin of error, you get 1%. Among black voters, he only has 50% support now and declining. His whole case has been on, I can turn this around in South Carolina. So what if we lose Nevada and California? I can win in South Carolina. And he says, you know what they say, in these races, the first ones don't matter. This is just the beginning. Nevada and Iowa don't matter, except they generally matter to momentum. If you can't win the first two elections, which are very simple because they have very low numbers of people, then you can't win the general. And the Biden team was scrambling, as I predicted, and if anything, he's going to lose Nevada by a large margin. The areas like Nye County with 2,500 people will probably go moderate, so they'll probably vote for Biden. But other than that, he doesn't have much. Mayor Pete, despite surging in the polls to 10% nationwide, which is a more than doubling, most people don't know who he is and or can't pronounce his name. There's legitimate criticism of him. The reason why he hasn't been attacked more is mainly because he's in, I believe, 4th or 5th place at this point. Bloomberg, what can I say? His strategy has basically been buy all the ads possible and hope that it works. And it's given him decent support. The problem is he decided to sit out the first two ones, and aside from being on California, Nevada, and South Carolina, and all the Super Tuesday ones, he's not on the ballot anywhere else. Oh, and he's at 12% nationwide. Basically, also his message is incoherent. He had this one ad that I had to watch on YouTube because I was watching a video. It was him shaking hands with Obama and saying, see, I support Obama's legacy and I can get stuff done. Then the next ad, which was another unskippable ad, was Joe Biden. Joe Biden hasn't accomplished anything as a vice president. He's all talk and no game. Vote for Mike Bloomberg because he can make a difference. And it's like, really? You support Obama's legacy? Really? You can't. you're not a hypocrite. Just bad. And he also managed to screw up in Nevada by implying that as a rich person, he's more fit to decide what ordinary Americans can and cannot do. Basically, it's all right to be an elitist, but just don't be one in public. Now, Warren's at 15%, Sanders is at 28%, and Tulsi Gabbard is at 2%. After this, since Gabbard did very poorly in all the states so far, and unlike Yang, hasn't dropped out, she'll probably drop out after Nevada. Same with Steyer. And Klobuchar will probably have to drop out after this as well. So that'll lead to a consolidation. Which is why I made this basketball-style bracket for you. I would flip the camera, but I don't think I can do that while I'm filming, or at least I don't know how to do it, and I don't think it would look good. So, of Steyer's support, most of it will go to Bloomberg, because they're essentially same billionaire candidates. Klobuchar is from the Midwest, and is also a moderate, so half of it will go to Biden, and probably half of it will go to Mayor Pete. Gabbard's support could go either way, either Warren or Sanders, and to avoid being called biased on this, I've taken the average of the poll results and averaged them together so that I don't get accused of cherry-picking polls. And so when I've divided it into the new brackets, again, there's 2 brackets, moderate and progressive, with 8 candidates. It'll drop down to 5. I've been very conservative in terms of establishing support. For example, Klobuchar, I split it right down the middle and gave half support to each. Oh, that's a typo. Steyer, he's going to throw his support in with probably with Bloomberg as well. All of it. And then Gabbard, Sanders, or Warren, so I split it down the middle. Now, here's the actual prediction. That was the background. Washoe County in the north and Clark County in the south will both go to Sanders. He has a high enough lead. Most of the rest will be a mixed, but Biden will undoubtedly pick up most of the table scraps. I don't think Warren's popular enough to actually pick up anything in Nevada. I definitely don't think Steyer or Mayor Pete will get anything, if only for the fact that it's not from their region. Bloomberg, maybe he'll get some table scrap. Amy Klobuchar, probably nothing. Gabbard, definitely nothing. So Sanders will win those, and since those have decided what will win the general election, and since he's already carried 3 counties in New Hampshire, which have determined since 1900 who wins the primary and general election, he'll do well. But I've already determined, based on my math, that it'll split into 2 very same-sized brackets, which ironically both will be 45%, although meaning that the moderate and progressive wing will be roughly the same in terms of popular support, 45 and 45. That could be a problem going into the convention, if any candidate is able to solidify support. With it dropping down to 3, it'll be a 3-way race between Biden, Pete, and Bloomberg. With it dropping down to 2, it'll be between Warren and Sanders. So whoever can solidify support first will probably be in the best position for the election or for the convention. But if it solidifies at the same time and we have 2 with equal delegate counts by fucking convention time, that'll be a clusterfuck. At that point, I believe you need 1,900 in a regular election, but if a divided convention, you need 2,200, so whoever can get the remaining 400 and something delegates the quickest will be in a good position. Although I don't know what there is to get at that point. Imagine a good deal of delegates will already be in. And it probably wouldn't be good for Biden at that point either, since Texas at this point is going, which is a very moderate state, is going 8% for Sanders. So, as always, I'll be watching the full primary live. I'm going to watch all the primaries this election because I like doing that on Saturday, and I'm likely going to a Sanders rally on Friday. So, all I lack to view the election is a t-shirt and presumably a hat. But that's just my analysis. I'll give you the actual results when they come in. Like, comment, and subscribe if you've not done so. This is Sean Hartnett saying thank you for watching.